Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod.
False start. Take two?
False start.
False start.
Take two.
Let's start over again.
All right.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod, Season 11, Episode 17. We are the Midwest's most dangerous podcast, and we're coming to you live from the Nakita IBEW Powerade, Indiana, Lake County Studios.
We hit a milestone yesterday.
Yeah? What's that?
Somebody hit double nickels.
Season 11, Episode 17?
Well, kind of.
Yes.
Happy belated.
Thanks. It's official now, John. You could.
Happy birthday.
You know, Facebook's got my birthday wrong, I think, and I get like tons of early birthday.
Oh,
it's like birthday week.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
it might be people who are living in another time zone, maybe, or
No, it says. I think it says like March 1st is my birthday.
Interesting.
Why?
You've thrown him off.
Well, like I just like people. I like to make
gotta
it like
keep
a
them
week.
on their
guessing.
toes.
Well,
I
like
see.
it's just like it's a 3 or 4 day
Month.
event. Yeah, it's
Just
just
celebrate your birthday
awesome.
all during March.
It's like Mardi Gras.
Jesus Christ.
Mardi Gras is a day.
Yeah,
I guess
know.
in New
4
Orleans
days.
it's probably
4 days of
yes.
yeah.
Party. Nice shirt.
But I'm 55 now.
Yes,
Thank
you are.
The girls in the office got this for me.
It's very cool.
Grateful Mayor.
You got to wear that to a show.
Yeah.
55 burgers, 55 fries.
What's that?
What's
Have you
that?
guys seen that show?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then we're not going to talk about it.
What is it? Bob's Burgers?
No, there's a sketch comedy show on Netflix, and in one of them, he's trying to do that go around where like you pay for the guy behind you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the
Pay it
fast
forward
food.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so he pays for the guy behind him, and then he like pulls back into the drive-thru, and he orders like an obscene amount of food.
Yeah.
55 burgers, 55 fries, 155 tater tots. You know.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Well,
Speaking of 55,
yes,
I
what
could go to Denny's now.
What are some of the benefits?
I have Denny's 55 plus menu.
It's my favorite time of the year, and I'm 6 weeks. For 6 weeks, I'm younger than Tom.
Yeah,
So I'm. So wait, Denny's 10%. What do I have to look forward to?
10% off Denny's.
All right,
That's
All right.
huge.
That's
This
solid.
is an actual page on a Denny's menu.
Yeah, 55 plus meals.
He's
Wow.
officially part of the
I am like
AARP.
When did they
like
move
those
that?
are cheap as hell too, man.
Don't you
I
remember
got
when we were
cheap
kids?
food coming my way.
Wasn't it like 65?
It's too young. I agree.
I agree. It's
It's too young.
55.
Whatever,
is like,
man. Shut up, hater.
55 is the new 40.
Right? I get 10% off my
you
weed
keep
purchases
your-
in Michigan.
What?
10% off weed purchases.
Wow.
If I were so inclined,
Yeah.
I would go to Michigan.
So
and
it's
I'd save
pretty sure he
hundreds.
is so
An individual.
What's that, Liz?
I'm pretty sure you're so inclined.
Well, if I was, I would save 10%. That could be hundreds of dollars.
An
savings.
individual can go to Michigan if they're 55 and over and save 10%
Yeah,
at weed stores.
and I'm a veteron too, so I should get 20% off.
Do they only give you one of the
I don't
discounts?
know. That's a good question.
At
These
some
are
point,
dilemmas
you
I have
gotta
to
get
deal with.
something for free.
You're like, hey, I'm walking in. I'm a veteran. I'm over 55.
Right. I should have 20%.
I'm a
off.
resident of Indiana. Do I
Yeah.
get any,
That one gets you arrested.
No.
Yeah.
Good point.
I don't even think these are good prices. Like looking at this menu.
John's
Are you
going
getting
through the-
charged more?
John's going through
for
the
being
menu.
55?
I know, right? They're
You've
like,
made it. Congratulations.
You're in your
your
prime earning
I was
years.
gonna say, yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I mean, $11 for some scrambled eggs,
That's
bacon.
bullshit.
That is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is in
Is that,
California.
I was going
by
to say, is
the way.
that from
Oh.
California?
Scrambled eggs.
This is from Steve, my buddy. You guys met Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
10,
sent that to me.
$10.99
Yeah,
for the scrambled eggs and cheddar breakfast.
that's California.
I'm going to
prices.
go out there and say there's a lot of Greek joints in the region that are a lot cheaper than
Agree.
No, it's good to have options like this.
that. Agree.
Yeah.
Greek food.
Marissa took me to opening day of Dune, John.
Oh, I
Oh.
saw it too. What'd you think?
Well, it's a long story. But
Well,
like,
there's an issue in him
what,
going.
Liz? I don't like movies.
Well,
The
first
long,
off,
long ones.
Dad never
Dude,
saw
it's like
Dune
3 hours.
Part 1.
That's
Oh
a
my
problem.
gosh,
Yeah.
dude, you had to
That was
see Dune
I
1.
brought this up to my lovely, beautiful bride, and I said, I haven't seen Dune 1. She's like, it's no big deal. You can figure it out.
Oh, maybe just she wanted to go see Dune 2.
Well,
and
she
was dragging
definitely,
you
she's
along.
like a Dune dork, right?
A Dune dork.
It
So
was
is your
opening
son.
day, so I was in there with Dune dorks galore. And I'm
Wow.
like, I've never seen Dune 1. I didn't even see Dune in the 1980s.
Do you,
when it
I was
came
going to
out.
say, do you remember when we were in like
Yeah,
high
Sting
school?
was in that,
Everybody was
wasn't it?
reading Dune, and
No, I
everyone
don't
was
remember
like,
that. I didn't
yeah.
hang out with dudes that read.
I was. There
That
was like
guy
a Dune crew,
loved cocaine.
a Hitchhiker's
Who
Guide to
did?
the Galaxy
Sting?
crew.
Guy, Frank Herbert, who wrote that book.
Oh, I thought you were talking
Oh,
about
man.
Sting.
Well,
Sting probably
also,
loved cocaine, too.
Yeah, probably.
Was
Dune-
Sting in Dune 1, John?
I don't know. Look it up
Kevin?
here.
Not sure.
Look it up.
IMDb somebody on our chat.
Do you
I
mean
swear.
the wrestler or the singer?
What are you?
What?
There's
Oh
a
my
wrestler
God, he
named
was.
Sting.
Yeah, look
you.
at that.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
call. Good
I
call by
didn't see that one
Locomotive.
either. I didn't see that one either.
But you knew he was in it.
So I like Marissa's
Whoa.
like, no, you could just go see Dune and you'll figure it out. It's
Dune
easy.
2.
Dune 2. And I'm
And?
like, it's Dune 2. But she's like, honey.
It seems like a long movie. Like it
trust
would be
me.
a long movie.
She said, trust me. Trust me. This is going to work out.
Trust me, I'm a judge.
Right.
She said the same thing to Brian.
So I went. It was fucking horrible.
Oh,
It was horrible. I didn't know what the fuck was going on the whole show. I'm like, who is this? Like, what is going? It like starts. Like,
It starts
from
where Dune 1 left off.
And you just
Halfway
assumes
through
you
the
know all
book.
these people. You know everybody because everybody is a dork in here that watched Dune 1.
I would
and,
assume like
absorbed it.
98% plus of the people in there saw Dune 1.
I was
dude.
fucking lost
Right?
from the moment it started. I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Was it a long movie?
And then Marissa's
2.5,
looking at me. She's
3,
like, "This
3
is
hours.
awesome, right?" And I'm like, and I was sleeping. And she's
Wake
like,
up.
"Are you sleeping?" I'm like, "No, not sleeping." I was dead asleep.
You're like, I'm almost 55. I'm sleeping.
Dude, it was horrible. And the freaking seats in the show place 12.
Oh.
They fucking blow, dude.
They're like, it's like
Really?
there's no. It's like you're falling through the seat. They're terrible.
Oh,
I'm
they need new
straight
seating.
up. Like, honestly, we dropped good dough to go to this stupid, dumbass movie.
Happy
and then,
birthday.
and then I'm sitting in the most uncomfortable freaking seat in
For
history.
hours.
For 3 hours.
And
Oh, and then
Yeah.
Marissa's like, "Tom, it's opening night. There's going to be 1,000 people there." And I'm like, so it's a 7 o'clock show, right? And she's like, "Let's go. It's 6 o'clock. I'm like, "We're going to Cherville. It's freaking 12 minutes away,
Oh,
right?
God.
We're going to be 45 minutes early if we leave now, right?"
That's kind of what I would
So
do,
she's
though.
sitting there watching the clock. Like,
I'm
oh my
with
God.
Marissa on that.
She's
That's
like, "You're an
awesome.
asshole. This place is going to be so packed, right?" So we get there. There's nobody fucking there. We're at like 6:40 for a 7 o'clock show.
That happens to
The
me,
show
too.
started at 7:20. Okay, and I'm sitting here for 40 minutes before a 3-hour movie.
Popcorn?
At least the movie, the introduction part was
Sure.
great. All the previews.
All the new movies that
Yeah.
are coming out.
And then Dune started.
I love the previews.
I do, too.
I love the previews too.
I'm a previews person. Brian always wants to show up like 15 minutes late so he can miss them.
I'm that way
like,
too.
no.
though.
I like to be
want
there
see
early
every single
in my
one.
seat.
Yeah, okay, I get you on that. But like, yeah,
Amy and I stopped going to Showplace.
really?
Wow.
Just
'Cause of
terrible
seats?
experience. The cost versus the experiences.
Yeah.
It's the seating, the people. There's
Where were
always
you,
people
man?
talking.
You could have been telling me this stuff before I got
we
sucked
we
into
started
this.
going to Portage. Imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah,
I went
man.
to
Heated
Portage when I
reclining
lived out
seats.
there.
What's that, Lynn?
I went to Portage when I lived in Hobart.
Yeah.
That place
Yeah,
is nice.
it's a big IMAX,
It's
right?
worth the extra drive.
I miss the town
is.
theater.
Yeah, me too.
You know, intermission.
I miss
little
driving.
cake, coffee.
Highland botched that, dude. I
They
don't want to
did,
get into
yeah.
that.
That's
That's
bad.
upsetting to me. But
So anyway, Dune 2 sucked, right?
no. So yeah, I wanted to say
if
like,
you know what's going on, it's not that bad.
Did you see it?
but
Lynn?
No, but I read it.
the
John?
director even said you don't have to see Dune 1 to see Dune 2, and I couldn't disagree more.
That guy's a fucking moron.
He's
I had no-
excellent at making money, though.
Right, yeah, good job. Yeah, he made money. I had no goddamn clue. I was trying my hardest because I wanted to make Marissa happy. And then I just gave up. I'm like, this is fucking impossible. There's literally 60 different actors in this. And they all like look similar. I'm like, what the,
It's got to be a little confusing.
yeah. I could have, if I had my iPad, I probably could have like done
Done
it
some
better. Who
research.
is this person? I'm like, what's their background? Like, I had no idea what was going on.
So at the end of the day, John, how many stars for Dune 2?
Out of how many?
Yeah, out of 5.
Out of 5? 3.5.
Tom.
1.5.
No,
And that
For,
was
like,
just because it's a beautiful
cluelessness.
film.
dude.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
Shot
review-
the
very,
popcorn
very
was good.
nicely.
I love the popcorn and the
was good.
Slurpee.
Seats sucked.
1.5. And I had good company.
There
Dad
you
bought
go.
the popcorn
1.5.
bucket.
1.5.
Long ass movie. The previews were the best part.
All right.
Okay.
It was overhyped to me. Every
Overhyped.
review is like best sequel ever made.
What?
Yeah, I
That
couldn't.
was horrible.
Well, I enjoyed it.
It was
But you never
but it's
horrible.
not the best
Dune.
sequel
It
ever
sucks
made.
so bad. Do not go
Tom, but
see this.
everything-
This is the worst fucking movie I've seen in
This
years.
is all
Wow.
based upon you
I
not going to
hated
see
it.
Dune.
I hated every second of it. We
Wow.
came out.
Dad,
Marissa
Dad, you
and
need
Patrick
to
are like,
watch
"Oh, that was
the
good."
first film first,
Okay.
and then you
But
come
then
back
why did
and
I
give
get
us-
sucked into this? Like Marissa and Patrick are like, "Good movie, good movie." They're like, "What did you think?" I was like, "I thought it was fucking horrible. I'll be honest with you." And she's like, "Really?"
You could have
I'm
sat
like,
at home.
Horrible. It was the worst goddamn movie I've ever seen. I don't
my
want.
gosh.
I never want to see it again. I'm not going to read the books
This is
either.
your
Are you ever
kid's
gonna go see
favorite
Dune now?
movie.
No,
The
I'm
first
done.
Dune.
They ruined it for me. Don't go see Dune 2 if you haven't seen Dune 1. Absolutely don't.
Well,
it
that's
makes
the
no
caveat
sense.
there. Your 1.5 is based on that you haven't seen Dune.
Like I went to
Exactly.
see Avatar 2.
Yeah?
It was great. I understood it from the get. Right.
Well, that's not based on a film or a book that's been out for years
Wow.
and years and years. You could
Dune
have
2
read it
sucks.
in that time.
That's Tom's review.
Are you gonna see
sucks
it, Kevin?
Hard.
Actually,
You're like,
so
no.
interestingly enough, but the day before I knew Tom went and saw it, Aiden, my middle son, was like, "Dad, have you seen Dune? Did you ever read the books when you were in high school?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Oh man, it's really good. I just saw Dune 2." So I don't know what his thought was, but
Did you
he
guys-
says
I'm
watch
guessing
it.
it's probably good.
He
for
said
him.
go watch it.
Did you guys see this? Check this out. This is I don't know what theater this is at. I don't think it's around here.
Mm-hmm.
But someone was riding around the.
It looks like it's
Oh,
really
the
It looks
scene
like
where-
Showplace 12.
yeah. It's got 20 screens though.
Oh,
Whoa!
no way. I saw that in the movie. I didn't understand what those were either. Big worms.
Sandworms.
Sandworm.
Someone made like a sandworm
Like scooter.
and is full dressed up in Fremen gear and is riding
Like
this
already
around.
I'm out of it.
Jeez,
I'm like,
see,
what?
John knows all
There's
the
a lot of that
terms
in the
and
movie.
everything.
Tom's like, this is
Yeah.
why.
This
I'm having
nerd read
flashbacks.
the book, bro.
I didn't read the book. I just thought that was cool because you haven't seen stuff like this in a while. Like pre-pandemic, you'd see geeked
Sure.
out people doing
Sure.
this. So it's kind of cool
That's
to see
pretty
that
cool.
coming back to theaters.
It's coming back a little
like
bit.
moviegoers getting
Yeah.
excited about movies.
Yeah.
As I love going to movies, man.
Yeah, man.
I do too. When
Yeah.
they're good.
Yeah, don't go see Dune 2, though. Hey, we got a great show today, guys.
Big one.
This is
Yeah.
like we're giving you your money's worth today, which is nothing, but like this is
I
solid
was gonna say,
return on investment.
We're giving our sponsors their money's worth
yes,
today.
our
There you
sponsors.
go.
Thank you, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
We have
news.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Dalton's mayor, her former chiefs of staff, 2.
Yes.
Multiples.
One
So
from
like 2 people that were in Dalton City Hall with her.
one from the township, chief of staff of the township,
Okay.
and then who was at the township for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then one chief of staff from Dolton, from the village
Wow.
of Dolton. Yeah,
So this is like taking the next step. I mean, we've been covering Mayor Tiffany
we've
for
been
5 episodes.
Yeah, we've been relying on channel of WGN and Fox
Fox,
32 to help us through it, but now we're going to get the real skinny
Now
part of
it's
the real
reversed.
part of the real.
They're
skinny.
relying on us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Kevin and I were in pre-show last night, and we really we did put down a couple questions, but I feel like I know Mayor Tiffany by now. Like we've covered her pretty extensively. So
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to hear about like the back story.
Yeah.
Like, let's hear about it. Let's hear what happened, how she got into office, what their concerns are about the township. And one of the things we're going to talk about is the fact that she's facing election in both offices next year on the same day.
wow,
So that'll be
same
something to
day
talk
for
about.
both offices.
Yeah.
Wow,
She's
that's
got a
interesting.
double election going on.
Yeah,
Imagine
double
that.
Is she going to
election.
try to run for both? Wow,
I'm sure.
Interesting.
Which one
So
are you
anyway,
going to give up?
we're going to do after our ads. We're doing half the show with those chiefs of staff. So stick with us after our ads. We still got a few more segments to cover, but so in the second half of the show, that's going to be our guests. I'm
sorry.
No, please.
No, go.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
I was doing. I was trying to, be respectful to my elders. I over the weekend I was doing some yard work. It's beautiful out this weekend in this area. It was like in the 70s, right? It's gorgeous out. So I was kind of just doing some cleanup from the fall and out in the yard, and I'm listening to a 1971 Dead show. It just happens to be in my ears, right? And I'm enjoying it. I think somebody called me, or I got interrupted and it went off, and then I just continued to do my work. I get inside and listen to this. So I get inside and I put my AirPods away. I only have one.
I hate it when my
And I'm like, holy shit.
And you just got those.
Yeah,
didn't you?
exactly, John. I'm
Yeah.
like, the other ones I had for years, no problem, never
Yeah.
lost it. And so my left one's gone. I'm like, oh shit. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, what bush is it in? Or what, pile of leaves. And so I'm like, okay. And I start going outside just frantic, looking around like an idiot. Then I'm like, oh, I wonder if Find My AirPod will work, right? So I stick it on, and number one, it's crazy. I'd never really used it. And it said, first thing it said was, your left AirPod is out of its case.
Big
I was
brother
like,
shit.
okay, that's
Nice.
crazy. And then it had a map and said, do you want to try to find it? Yes. And then it had a map going with a line going down my driveway.
Something like this just happened to me too.
Really? Yeah. So I'm going down my driveway. So I'm following along. It's like 40 feet, 30 feet, 20 feet. But then it kind of stopped. And I was like, okay, I'm here at the line. Where is it? And I'm like, holy shit. And it says, do you want to play a sound? Okay, yes. And I'm like, I'm never going to hear this. And I'm just and it says, okay, it's playing a sound. And I'm going around my yard. I hear beep, beep, beep. I'm like, oh, I'm going to find it. It was coming from the yard waste bag at my curb.
Wow.
So I'm digging through
What is wrong with you?
yeah,
man?
Wow.
digging through my yard waste bag. And I had to dig through it and I had to play the sound again twice. And I got it.
Nice.
So thank
Dude,
you, Apple.
That exact thing happened to me. It's so weird.
No way.
Something sort of like that. So it was one of the beautiful days the other day, right?
Yes.
And I got back home. It was like 3:30. So it was late in the afternoon, and I want to get a ride in. And it's like 70 degrees, one of those freak 70-degree days. So I'm like getting everything to go. I'm like frantic. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's my first ride of the season.
Yeah.
So I had to find all my shit because it's been scattered over the winter, right? And I get everything except for my AirPods.
Okay.
And I'm like frantically looking around. I'm like,
Because
had
you
these-
ride with AirPods, right?
Yeah, and I cannot ride without AirPods. Like, it's impossible. That's
It's
like
as
just
important as your helmet.
It's just as important as my helmet. Like I'm not leaving without my AirPods. So I'm looking, and I literally just had them. I'm like, where did I put these things? So I'm like running all over the house looking for my AirPods. Right?
Pissed.
Like I literally know I touched them like 5 minutes ago, and I don't remember what I did with them. So I'm going everywhere in the house I was. So I was like, same thing. find my AirPods, right? So I pull out, find my iPhone. It's on
You
there.
did the same thing.
Yeah. And then it says the same thing. It's like, your case is like 30 feet away. So, and it's showing me the directions in my house. And I'm walking all over my house and I'm like beeping it and I could hear it, but I'm walking all over. It's telling me like walk to the living room. And I walk to the living room and I hear the beep and it's like, no, it's in the dining room. And I walk to the dining room. I hear a beep. And it's like, no, it's in the kitchen. I'm doing this shit. And I'm like frantic because I know it's getting dark.
You're running out of time.
I'm like, I'm never going to get this fucking right in. I got to find my AirPods.
Yeah.
I did this for 5 minutes. I'm not even shitting. Walking all over the house. And it kept telling me to go to the basement, go to the roof.
You're like, stop fucking with me, Apple.
Right? It was in my goddamn pocket the whole time. In my pocket on my body. It was like, it was literally following me around, beeping, and I was hearing it. I'm such an idiot.
I like it.
I was by myself, too.
I mean, I'll tell you.
I wrote it down. I'm like, this is going on the show.
That's like, here we are. We both had to use it, but it was great. I mean, thank God.
It's a good.
I had never
tool.
lost an AirPod before. My old
That's a
AirPods, they
good
never
tool,
fell out
right?
of my ears.
See, they fall out of my ears when I'm
Yeah.
writing, but you could hear it fall out of your ears.
Right.
'cause
That's
you got
what
music
sucked
on,
because
right?
I had that Dead show on. I was listening to it, and then somebody called me or something, and I just finished up my yard with no sound.
Yeah.
That was my mistake.
So, hey, are our guests here, Linz? I saw you leave.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I saw
wow.
you leave.
Tom
Just
got
looking
excited.
For, directions
No,
to
I
the
didn't know.
place, so.
So check this out. So this is a perfect example of impossibility of being mayor. Okay, it's like we bring these to the show every once in a while.
Yes.
It's just like my job is funny because you just get blamed for fucking everything. If you have nothing to do with it, you get blamed for it, and like everybody piles on. And even though you have nothing to do with it, and this is a perfect example of. Okay, in the way we do business in where I live in Northwest Indiana, and it's different all parts of the country. I realize we have people from all around listening to us, but where we do it here, schools and the city are two different entities. Okay, so I, as mayor of Hammond, it's a powerful position. I'm in charge of basically city government altogether, but in the schools, I have nothing to do with it.
And
like
actually,
as far as I have no influence at all in the schools, other than persuasive.
I was just going to add that, strange enough, like even within different communities in Indiana, it's different. Like Hammond, it's totally separate. The school board is elected.
True.
The superintendent is hired by the school board. In some communities in Indiana, like Valparaiso, the school board is appointed by the mayor.
True story.
Right. So
and
even
the council, it's a combination. But
Okay,
still,
sure.
City
Right.
government appoints the school board. School board hires the superintendent, but there's a city influence on the schools
because they
in
get
Valpo,
to appoint.
right? So it's different. But in Hammond, where we live, the mayor has nothing to do with schools.
Right. You don't
Okay,
appoint
and
school board, superintendent, nothing.
My job's
Budget.
complex enough. I mean, and I mean, honestly, if I had school responsibility, I would take it seriously and I'd do a good job, but I don't. So, like, quite frankly, I leave it to the superintendent. That's his job. He focuses on schools. I focus on city. We both got our hands full. Okay.
Sometimes they interconnect, but for the
Sometimes
most
they do.
time,
We once or twice a year we
Sure.
have deals where we're working with schools to get stuff done, and
Sure.
we work together.
Yeah.
The superintendent's a great guy. He's appeared on Lockpod, Scott. They have a brand new high school they built a couple years ago. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
It's called Hammond Central. It's $100 million school.
Yeah,
It looks like a college. It's gorgeous. It's
Beautiful.
great that it's in our city. It's something to be proud of.
right across from your office.
Right. And the school city built this and ran out of money in the middle of the project, and they didn't build a baseball field. Okay. So the high school team that plays there has to go to borrowed fields. They don't get to play at their home field, right?
Sure, they don't get to walk out from the gym
Right.
with their cleats
Right.
and their equipment. They got to
Exactly.
hop on the bus or get in
Right.
the car and go to practice.
So
which
they're
kinda
always on the
sucks.
road. It
Yeah.
totally sucks, right? It does. But like that's the way it is. It's
Currently,
the
right?
schools, when they built that high school, they ran out of money. Okay.
And then no one voted for the referendum.
And then we tried to get a referendum, which would have fixed this, but both referendums failed. So here we are. We have this beautiful brand new high school with no baseball field.
Right. They
Which
got a nice
sucks.
football field.
They got a
and
nice
soccer
football field, but
track.
they have no baseball field. So, and it's, it's obviously not ideal, and I imagine eventually it'll be fixed. Okay. But right now, it's not. So the other day, a Facebook friend of mine, I don't know if he's trying to get me in trouble or if he's being straight up serious. He posts a picture of Hammond Central's backyard and tags me on Facebook. Okay. This guy's got a lot of fans on
Showing
Facebook.
this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
This guy named Russ posts it. He's a nice guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a fan of mine. I think he's a supporter of mine, and he's being straight up. He's a baseball fan, and he says in this, Hammond Central needs a baseball complex. Come on, brother. You love baseball. Make something happen. He's saying that to me on Facebook.
And
right?
just to be complete, as Jill, who's in chat, pointed out, because she helps coach the softball team, no softball field either. So.
Thank you, Jill. No baseball or softball field, which sucks.
Yeah.
I love baseball and softball. Okay?
Absolutely.
And Hammond Central needs this, and it didn't happen. And that sucks for the baseball, softball players at Hammond Central, and there's quite a few of them, and the coaches, and it's not fair, and it needs to be fixed.
It's a great example of what's happening in public school situations in Indiana.
But the public schools, that's a problem they have to fix. Just like I have major problems I have to fix, you know, and I wouldn't ask the school principals to donate money towards my major financial problems.
Yeah, if you said, "Hey, the consent decree is a couple $100
Yeah.
million," I was
You guys-
hoping
you guys
can you
flush your
guys
toilets.
help me out?
Right.
Yeah, you
You
guys flush the toilets. Help a
flush
brother out.
toilets? Yeah, I thought so. You flush toilets. Okay, so once you give me $20 million to help satisfy this consent decree, right? We don't do that. So anyway, Russ puts this up, and I imagine Russ is being good-natured about it. He honestly wants to see this fixed, right? So it starts off with a couple people coming in like, yeah, I'm a fan of Tom and what he has done in Hammond and as a whole, but I'm a bigger baseball fan, and this really bothers me. And I feel for the coach's crew and the kids. Like, they're like, yeah, Tom's a good guy, and he's a baseball fan, but he's fucked up for not building a baseball field. It has nothing to do with the fact that this was not my job at all. Like, we have no responsibility towards this baseball field in the city at all. This isn't not, it would be a pure gift if we did this. And we don't have that kind of money to just gift millions of dollars in baseball fields, right? For the same reason. So then the coach of the baseball team jumps in, right?
Wait, who's this?
Mike Katzen,
Yeah.
the coach of the team. And he says
there he is,
basically, it's never going to happen. These guys are all fucked up, basically, right? The coach jumps in like, yeah, the mayor's never going to do this. The city's all screwed up. Like, why would the mayor do something like this? And this whole thread turns into how fucked up I am as mayor and how stupid it is to build a school with no baseball field. And nobody takes a step back and says it wasn't his job in the first place. This whole thread turns into, fuck Tom McDermott.
What an asshole Tom
What a dick
is.
he is. This guy built a high school and he didn't build a baseball field. And the fucking coaches even jumping in. Yeah, these guys are assholes. It's like, what is going on here?
And
I
I
have
think-
no responsibility here.
And then you're reading this, and I think, like a further dilemma is you probably are sitting there like itching, like, I got to respond to this. But then you know what? If you do, that's a disaster. You're down a rabbit hole for like 30 Facebook posts.
Yeah, it's
Right.
not gonna
At
matter.
least.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to help things by responding.
Then one guy jumps in. He says, hey, this wasn't Tom's job, right?
Thank you.
This guy,
And he gets blasted.
he gets blasted, and then another guy jumps in and says, well, shit, we can't even get our streets fixed in Robertsdale.
No.
Nobody takes our district
This is why
seriously.
I
I'm like,
deleted
this
Facebook,
whole
man.
goddamn thread turned into Tom
Bash the
McDermott
mayor.
sucks.
Yeah.
And it's about a
Congratulations.
baseball field that wasn't built by the school board in the school city, and it like turns into Tom
This is
McDermott
great.
sucks.
We can't even get streets fixed in Robertsdale. We're the lost district.
But
Nobody
that guy
takes
used to
care of
work for
shit
the
around
Lost
here.
Marsh Golf Course too. He was an employee of mine, Charles Oliver. I hired that guy, and he worked for me for years. Now he's like, screw Tom McDermott. Like, this whole thread started off about baseball, and it turned into how shitty of a mayor I am.
Thank you,
By the
Jeff
way,
Adam, by the way.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff
You
Adam,
know, for coming to the mayor's
man,
rescue.
Right?
Voice of reason.
He was right. He's the only guy in this. He's like, if you want to be mad, blame the school city. Don't blame Mayor Tom. He has no control. Two separate entities, right?
Yep.
And then it's
It
like,
got
oh,
one like.
You're an
It
asshole.
got
Like,
one
screw you,
thumbs up.
Jeff. Like, oh,
Dude,
God.
this is
that was my
great.
thumbs up, probably.
We can't even get streets fixed in. It went from the
Yeah.
baseball field to we can't get streets fixed in Robertsdale.
By the way, like,
Society
yeah.
is hell, isn't it?
It just
it's
makes
just-
you want
Well,
to
social media is a sewer.
Well, first,
I mean,
like
all
this
of
whole
society,
argument's about
dude, it's
something that's
hell.
wrong from the get-go. Like he starts off, or the main Russ starts off with an assertion that's completely wrong, right? The mayor fucked up. He should have built a baseball field when he built the school.
and I would even say like I don't even know if that was his intention. He was just like, "Hey, Tom, can we help? Can we help him out?" Right?
Right.
He doesn't
Have
say
you-
like, I didn't even know if he said like it's your responsibility. He was just like,
Right.
"Hey, can we help him out?"
Right.
Right.
Dad,
And then it
haven't you
became-
built like 4 baseball fields since you've been mayor in the first place.
Lots of baseball
I was
fields.
gonna
was
say,
like-
isn't like
He
not
the
definitely has a
baseball field?
predisposition to building
yeah.
baseball fields in general.
Baseball was resurrected in Hammond
Right.
under the mayor's leadership.
Right,
I would,
but it
I
was
would
high
say-
school baseball is a whole separate matter.
Oh,
though.
sure.
High school baseball is the high school's responsibility.
Sure.
And the school's responsibility is not the mayor's. Like, if I did anything, it would be a gift. And quite frankly, we're $10 million down in Hammond. I'm not gifting money. When you lose $10 million a year, you don't gift things.
Right.
You like try to focus on
Fix
what's
things
important.
up. Yeah, fix
right?
things. You got
I
a
lost
consent
$10 million a
decree.
year.
You got
I
police.
lost $10 million a year.
Yep.
I'm not gifting. I'm trying to keep things running, right?
There you go. Just a window into Tom's world.
Happy birthday, Tom.
That was, it was a birthday
Grateful
present.
mayor. That's your shirt.
I
Just
know.
Look down at
Isn't
that.
that crazy, though? It's
I
just
mean,
it's a perfect example.
It's a great example of the stuff you have to deal with, which
it's
is
just
not
like
just
spins out of control. It has nothing to do with you, and it keeps getting worse. Like today, they're going to pile on again. Yeah, he's an asshole. Blah blah blah. I heard him.
you're on
talking.
Lockpot. Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's.
I
Just
mean,
like,
but I mean, and that's social media. It becomes like a total rabbit hole and becomes it just builds on itself.
Well,
and
they're
anger
uninformed,
and
you know.
yeah, they're uninformed. No, they are. I
the
mean,
uninformed
they're dead
public,
wrong.
John.
Yeah.
They're dead wrong on this issue. It's dead wrong.
Well, they just build on each other, and I'm not saying.
And they
like,
keep on spinning, right? They keep on spinning on each other. One person says another wrong thing, and another person says before
Yeah.
long they're just like completely.
Well, and then it becomes like the truth,
Right.
Like all of
Well,
a sudden
no,
it's like
exactly. They
right. Then
think
all of a
it's the
sudden
truth.
everything's believed, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
you
like,
take
"Hey, did you hear about McDermott building a high school? He didn't build a baseball field.
Right.
What an asshole!" Right? It's like
all these conspiracies. It just all these
Ridiculous.
things on social
Ridiculous.
media, right? And then Jeff Adam becomes the voice of reason. He gets criticized.
yeah, Jeff Adam, the one guy that actually is like, "Hey, this wasn't his job." Like, fuck you, man! Like, what are you doing in there?
You're part
you
of the
brown
problem.
noser, you know, you work for the administration. It's like, what the hell is
Who's
going
paying
on?
you?
Right?
Right.
That's America 2024.
Yes. Welcome.
Welcome to America. So, hey, speaking of, did you see big case out of the U.S. Supreme
It
Court
was a big
yesterday?
case yesterday. Yeah,
John, I agree with that case. I know Kevin does too, right? I don't mean to speak
Yeah, I
for
think we all talked about when the Colorado, and we're talking about by the way, we're talking about the Colorado Supreme Court, which removed Donald Trump from the ballot in Colorado, is claiming that he violated the 14th Amendment, Section 3, which says if you participate in insurrection and have already taken an oath of office to the United States, you can't hold another office, federal office, right? And they said, we agree he can't, he's an insurrectionist. And when it went up to the Supreme Court, we talked about it here on the pod, and I think we all agreed that we thought that was a bad idea because you could have like a rogue state.
Yes.
Right? And
I
that's
mean,
kind of
every
what,
presidential election in history will have certain states that say you can't be on the ballot in our state. Like North Dakota says Barack Obama can't be on there, or Michelle
he was an
Obama, or whoever,
insurrectionist,
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Or like some other reason. Maybe it's not just insurrection. It's
Well, in
like-
this case, it was right. It was the
yeah,
yeah,
insurrection clause, right?
But I
And-
mean, you could say like, oh, he's an, who knows? You could have I think you brought this up when we were talking about the first time. You said you could have a rogue state, some state that becomes so rogue that they're just going to do stuff like this. And
You
this
can't
goes
have
for either
states
side, by the way.
interfering and gumming up federal elections is, I think, where the Supreme Court was coming from. And it was a 9-0 vote, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was per curiam, which means that nobody actually authored it, right? They just kind of all agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the really interesting part of that was where they diverged, right? They all agreed on the result, which is yes,
Only
he should
Congress,
not be on
only
Colorado.
Only Congress could remove presidents from the ballot. That's basically what the ruling was, right?
Yeah, I mean, so what happened was there was a 5-member like concurring opinion which said the only way, what we need is Congress to enact a statute to say, oh,
Which will
how
never
do you-
happen.
No, it'll never
Congress
happen.
can't pass shit.
They-
We need
what I
Congress to
said.
do their job. It's
Yeah.
like Congress is like, what?
Right. That's
Like, what the
basically
fuck
what
am
they
I
said.
supposed to do?
We're not in session.
Yeah, like, we don't pass laws. Like, we just jam, you know.
Yeah, the majority said that Congress has to enact a statute that says how do we enforce this section, and
I'm sure that'll fly right through.
right, and then the other side, the liberal justices, along with Amy Coney Barrett, said that they didn't agree with that because a lot of the 14th Amendment, especially like, for example, prohibition of slavery, it was self-enacting. Mm-hmm. It didn't have to have a statute say
right.
we have to, right? And so I thought the one thing, and I just want to read this. This is Section 5 of the 14th Amendment. It says, Congress shall have power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. To me, I don't see that as a mandate. It doesn't say they have to. That's the only way, and that's what the liberal justices said that they objected to because it foreclosed any other way for this section to be enforced. So that's where we have it. He's back on the ballot in Colorado.
And that affects the case in Maine, too, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Illinois, right?
Illinois.
Didn't Illinois just
Yep.
do something?
They all fall in line now.
Yeah, which is the right decision. For our federal elections, we want to make sure that, you can't have a state deciding. Because think about it. If you came down to it and he was off in Colorado and all of a sudden that turned the table in the Electoral College,
Right.
you would say, oh, that
Colorado's
state determined the election. You can't have
Colorado's an important state.
that. Yeah, and you can't, just any state. You can't have
Well,
that.
Colorado is a state that goes both ways.
Sure.
Right.
Whoa.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It could go Republican or Democrat.
By that.
Yeah.
It's
What's your
an
thought?
icon.
What's your thought, John?
I thought Barrett's, one of her quotes from her, I don't know what you call it, a statement,
Dissent.
was
Yeah, it was like a
wasn't
concurring. It was like, no, it was like a,
Concurring but separate.
yeah,
opinion.
concurring but separate. There you
Right.
go.
I really just enjoyed this paragraph here. For present purposes, our differences are far less important than our unanimity.
Right.
All 9 justices agree on the outcome of this case. That is the message Americans should take home.
True story.
Yeah, and I thought that, so she was the
She's
one.
almost, sorry, Kevin, she's almost addressing the like opinion
Discord.
people are amongst the Supreme Court that it's all political now.
Yeah, I
thought
thought
that was interesting.
I did too, and I liked it. And because I think she did that because the liberal justices, what they did was they went after the majority opinion, and they brought up Dobbs, and Dobbs is a decision that Tom knows a lot about, and they started off their opinion reminding the majority like what they said in Dobbs, which they said, if it is not necessary to decide more to dispose of a case, then it is necessary not to decide more. And that's how they started it off. So I thought that was interesting because they just kind of said, you didn't have to go that far. Just say Colorado was wrong. That's it.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff.
So why don't we? So Donald Trump's going to be on the ballot. That's the
Yes,
bottom line.
which
No state could
by the way,
remove
is the right decision. I
it
agree
looks
with
like
that decision.
it looks weenie-ish, in my opinion, pulling him off the ballot. It's almost as weak as what the DNC did with President Biden by not letting him debate anybody. That's pretty weenie-ish also. But like, let's be honest, we're a weenie
Let's have
nation.
a full and
We're a nation full of wieners. We are. We're a bunch of little weenies that are
Weenie
just.
Hut Jr.
Oh my god, my feelings are hurt. You said something that hurt my feelings.
Yep.
It's like a bunch of
Okay,
weenies, man.
chill.
Like, you think they worry about that shit in Ukraine right now? No.
No.
They worry about real things, not bullshit like we worry about here. We're
Oh,
waging.
yeah.
So don't worry
We
about
need
people
to worry
criticizing.
about civil war here.
No, I mean, if we, like, life would get a lot more real.
How to use a gun.
If we had strife. We've had it easy. We're a nation.
Not that
of
we're
wimps.
hoping for that.
No, but we are a nation of wimps. Like, we are.
Wait, what would you?
think
I think in
that's a
season
blessing.
9 you used to call it the wimpification of
Mhm.
America.
We are a nation of wimps. A bunch of weenies that are just sensitive and scared, and at all times. I'm sick of it. I really am. I'm sick of it in my party. I'm sick of it as a country. I think President Biden should have to debate multiple times to prove that he's competent enough to be the president, because I don't think he is, and I'm a Democrat, by the way.
What do you
I don't
take
think he's going to make it 5 more years.
Okay, but what do you take about Trump refusing to debate? He didn't.
think
He
that's
didn't
wrong,
want to
too.
get on the debate stage with any of those 13 people.
I think that's
that
wrong, too.
man is also got mental health issues.
But I think
he
that-
said President was Obama again.
There
over the
should be a
weekend.
federal law, Kevin, that
Yes.
says that if you run for president, you have to debate. There
I
should
mean-
be a federal law.
There is, and they'd have to debate for in the general.
There's a law that says that.
I don't know if
They
it's a
have
law,
to.
but there's
What
a
if
federal
Trump says
presidential
I'm
debate.
not? What if
That's
Biden
a good
says?
question.
I don't think there's a federal
I
law
thought
that
there's.
says that.
It must be.
So
an agreement.
Biden's like, no, I don't want to debate because I'm not going to be doing well. People will see that I'm not fit for this job.
I don't know if it's a law, but I bet it's an agreement between the parties, the major parties.
Really?
That might change.
Yeah, I'm
I
guessing.
think Trump
These
changed
agreements
everything.
change.
I agree.
Agreed,
Like,
John.
Look at Haley.
NATO
She
was an
said-
agreement too.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at Haley just now. She said she might not
Endorse
her.
Trump. Yeah,
She may as well stay around.
Love that.
Yeah.
There's a whole spectrum of people out there. There's Republicans that have been Republicans their whole life that are disenchanted with what's going on in their party, and there's a whole generation of Democrats that don't like what's going on in the Democratic Party either. There's a lot of people out there like that.
Yeah.
If those people got together, it would be a major force in America. But
Should we call it the Whigs?
the Whigs, I think we are the Whigs right now. Being honest with you, I think we're in the party that's probably not going to be around much longer if we don't watch our shit.
I think Republicans are in the same boat.
Okay.
The
Well,
no
there's no
labels
guarantee.
party.
The No
Whigs-
Labels Party. There you go, John.
The Whigs were the major party when our country first came around.
Yes.
Okay. Where are they now? They
I
went
don't know.
away because they didn't adapt.
People probably don't even know how to spell it
That's
anymore.
how time works.
Yeah.
And that's fine with me. A new party will take
Like,
its place.
I think everybody nowadays sits here and says it's always going to be Republicans and Democrats, but that's not the case. Shit happens, man.
You'd have to see something big happen.
Yeah.
Someone big would
Like
have to start
two-
the new party.
two
To have more
incompetent
than two
people running for
parties.
president. Like something like that. Two incompetent people that neither of whom should be the president for 4.5 more years, or for 4.5 more years,
Yep.
running against each other. Maybe
the
that's
two
what it'll-
oldest people ever running for president.
Right.
Who is
The young guy is
who is
Trump.
the second in line? Who are the next two oldest
Right.
presidents ever running for president? Do you know?
Ronald Reagan.
No, the last time these two ran.
Oh yeah,
Boom,
okay,
there you go. I mean, it's
Besides
crazy.
these two. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And like protect them. They probably, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think we should read all the ads and then?
Yep.
Yeah,
Because we don't want to.
We don't wanna have
We're doing a half and half.
and we
So
don't
we're
want
gonna-
them having to sit here through. all
Yeah,
the
so we're
ads,
going to do a half and half show, guys. We're going to do all of our ads right now. And when we come back, we're going to have on Dolton's former chief of staff, Dr. Nakita Cloud, and Thornton Township's former chief of staff, Miss Stephanie Wiedeman. And they're both very knowledgeable on the
Mayor
Our
current
favorite
mayor,
topic.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Dalton's mayor. So when we
Season
come back, we're going to
11's
give
favorite
you
topic.
LockPod exclusive material. So make sure you make your payments, and we'll be right back. Okay? All right.
Of $0 and 0 cents.
That's right. Powering Indiana Lake County, IBEW Local 697 and NECA proudly bring you Powering Indiana Lake County. With over a century of experience, they've been safely wiring the region. From powering corporations along the lakefront to lighting up homes across Lake County, Powering Indiana Lake County is your trusted source for electrical professionals. Join them as they continue to light the way for Northwest Indiana. Visit Powering Indiana Lake County at poweringindiana.org.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon sets the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for their iconic red and white label at your local grocery store. Indulge in the finest Mexican products crafted with local expertise and savor the taste of authenticity. Discover the flavors of Tortillas Nuevo Leon today.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Unbelievable.
Hey,
Let's have our
taking
guest sit
Dad's
for 8
spot.
minutes while we read ads.
Go
ahead, Lynn.
Lady's just going to go say hi.
Yes.
MCR Partners, are you seeking expertise in economic development, finance, and planning? Look no further than MCR Partners, your go-to professionals for comprehensive solutions. Their dedicated team is ready to assess your opportunities and ensure the successful completion of your projects. Discover the difference MCR Partners can make in navigating the intricacies of economic development. Stay informed and connected by visiting our website at mcrpartnersllc.com. For personalized assistance, you can reach out to Matt Reardon personally at 219-741-9511.
Nope. Byway Brewing, a family-friendly microbrewery, welcomes you to their spacious tap room and outdoor patio. Enjoy award-winning craft beer, chef-driven menu, and craft draft cocktails. Their unique brewing equipment and production facility provide a perfect backdrop for private events, whether it's a bridal shower, reunion, or a corporate party. With their new food truck, they can cater your corporate and private events off-site. Customer service is their top priority at Byway Brewing, just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Kuklakis Law. Are you currently navigating complex legal challenges? Unsure of where to turn for guidance? Your search ends here with Kuklakis Law, your trusted partner for legal solutions in Indiana and in Illinois. Whether you're seeking expert representation for real estate transactions, need assistance in forming your business, or have experienced a personal injury at work or in a car crash, Kuklakis Law is here for you. No matter the nature of your legal issue, their team is ready to help. Call them today at 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Hablamos español.
Rogers Roofing. When you demand nothing but the best for your home and family, trust the industry leader, Rogers Roofing. For over 54 years, they've been transforming homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. Their commitment to quality shines through their roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the most comprehensive warranties in the business. Visit their website at rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 to schedule your free consultation. That's rogersroofing.com at 219-933-9145. At Rogers Roofing, we expect nothing less than excellence every time.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltonsberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing always on time and within budget. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today. Misprint, your partner for creating impactful visual solutions.
Calumet Brewing. It's time to experience the Michelob Ultra with only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and a 4.2 ABV. The perfect way to start 2024 and keep those resolutions in check. It doesn't matter if you're kicking back after a workout, hitting a pickup game at the park, or heading out for a day on the slopes. Be ready to enjoy a superior light lager that's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra is brewed to be a complement to your healthy lifestyle. Head over to Cal Brew and Michelob Ultra websites or the social media pages for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Prestmer Insurance Company. This is the last one, I promise. For decades, the Ron J. Prestmer Insurance Agency has been your trusted neighbor right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all of your insurance needs. Their wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, and life insurance, has helped over thousands of individuals and businesses throughout the Chicagoland and Midwest area. Call Ron or his son Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana, Lake County.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the studio. Two wonderful ladies that have agreed to come on LockPod. One is Dr. Nakita Cloud, the former village trustee,
Chief of staff.
chief of staff. Excuse me, chief of
It's
staff.
in the notes.
Yeah, at Thornton Township. Sorry.
you-
And then
he
we
has
also
a
have.
Village of Dolton.
Yeah, she's a Pete.
He started out
I
great.
should just let
This is-
Kevin
you know,
come
he,
in.
he just turned
This is
55
Kevin.
yesterday, so
Yeah.
this is
He
he's
can't
gone,
see how to read.
it's gone
It's
way
all
downhill.
downhill.
Thanks,
right
doctor.
there.
Sorry about that.
It's all good.
It's all right. And we also have Stephanie Wiedeman. Stephanie is the Thornton Township, former chief of staff for Thornton Township. Yes. Thank you.
Welcome,
Hey, pull
ladies.
up the microphone right to you guys. Okay.
Okay.
Get it
Yeah.
all up in your business.
Yeah,
Welcome
right.
to-
All
Yeah,
in my
literally.
face. Let's go.
I sit it literally
you want me to
against my
drop a
chin.
mic? I see you got Snoop over here.
I do.
you know?
That's right. You
Yes.
know, we have our Summerfest every year. It's called Festival of Lakes. You guys got to come out.
Oh, for
Dalton's
sure.
on-
We
Thornton
haven't had
Township's not
Snoop.
far.
We haven't had Snoop yet.
We tried 3 times. and
Really?
We had him
He
under
likes
contract
TV
one
too
time.
much.
And
You gotta legalize, some
But-
stuff to get him.
no
There you
shit.
go. It would
No
help.
shit. By the way. By the way, I turned 55, so I was saying I get 10%
Happy
off.
birthday.
Thanks.
Happy
Appreciate it.
10% off in Cal City.
That's right. 10% off. Yeah, I love it out there. So you
but-
guys, by the way, like Illinois was huge when they legalized. That was a great move. Did you guys in Thornton Township and in Dalton? Did you see a lot of increased traffic from Indiana? Obviously, right?
Actually, you mentioned, I am Dr. Nakita Nietzsche of BAM, Body and Mind Dispensary.
Whoa.
In
What?
Linwood and in Markham, Illinois.
Out.
What?
I am.
My pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
So I
That's
got
like-
treated. So, we'll
no,
talk
I'm-
offline.
Talk to you.
I ran for U.S. Senate. In my first campaign commercial, I smoked weed in it in Illinois.
Really?
My first commercial, it went viral. Not obviously that
On
viral.
420.
Yeah, it was on 420. We dropped it, and it made a splash.
For sure.
But I lost still. But anyway, it was a. It
That's
was
You had a good
Indiana
run.
for you.
It was
So speaking
yeah.
of things that go viral, right? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we were having you in to talk about your experience in Dalton and Thornton Township, where kind of like season 11's favorite story, Mayor
It
Tiff,
seems like
is dominated.
we don't really cover stories over and over again, but with her, it just when it hit us, it was like there was so much material to cover. We couldn't give it just one show.
She's the gift that keeps on giving.
We've
doubt, right?
said that right here on the podcast.
It's unbelievable. Like it's weird. When I first became mayor, my father was mayor, and then when I took over, my dad gave me really good advice. He told me
Right.
to stay away from campaign money, just basic stuff like that to keep you out of trouble. But he put in me a not a fear, it's just like, hey, let me know. You always have bosses. When you're a mayor, you may think that you have no bosses, but you have bosses, and they're called FBI agents.
Yep.
And they watch you, and you have to
called
be
the
leery
federal
of these
government.
FBI agents because they will regulate you. And-
Exactly.
right? And
Quickly.
it seems to me that she has no fear at all of FBI agents. Like, that's the thing to me that's just amazing. It's like she thinks that she's on her own. Like, if the council supports me, that's all I got to worry about. And it's like she never got that talking to like I got,
What's unfortunate is that she thinks even when the council doesn't support her, she can do whatever she wants.
Right.
The council, the village trustees, the majority does not support what she does, and she still proceeds as she wants.
All right, so let me ask a little bit about that, because I know that there's a lot of people in Indiana that listen to our show, and they're used to how city and town governments
Right.
in Indiana are set up, right? Where you have a mayor and you have a city council.
Right.
So in Illinois, if I'm not mistaken, you have cities and then you have villages, right? There's no towns. So villages are set up with a mayor and then trustees, correct?
Yes.
Which is kind of like the city council.
For sure.
Okay. And so in Dalton, Dr. Nakita, how many trustees are there in Dalton? Oh, that was a quiz.
Six.
Sorry,
Six,
There's
is there?
six.
Six
with the
And does the
trustees.
mayor get a vote on the with the trustees?
No,
No.
only she's a tiebreaker in
Okay.
some cases, but she hasn't had the opportunity to be a tiebreaker at this
Okay,
point.
and
So she's 6, and if it's 3-3, the mayor would come in and break
Exactly.
the tie. Gotcha.
yeah, so because I noticed on TV like she has a seat in the like kind of there with the council
yeah,
when
she's
they're
in
the
the back
trustees.
like she's a god. I see
right.
her. Yes,
so let me
and
explain to us how you hooked up with Mayor Tiff and your position with her, and then why you left.
Yeah, so I served my time with Mayor Tiff when I was introduced to her. I didn't know her from a can of paint from the former chief of staff, and they wanted me to come in as public relations because that's where really my area of expertise is. So I came on as her publicist, but
Was this after she won already? Or was
yeah, she had just became mayor maybe a month or two.
Okay, so it's 2021.
Yes, 2021, and then she had a controversy with the young lady Alexis Wilson, who was shot and killed by Dolton police, and her statement that she put out by her statement that she put out, she stated that she stood with the police. Keep in mind, this is coming off of the brink of the whole
Wow.
George Floyd
Yeah.
thing, so they're
That was tough
protesting.
times.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely, that's not anything you want to say. So she had people protesting her home, protesting the businesses.
That was
et
right
cetera.
off the bat, huh?
Yeah, it was right after. It was bad.
That's when you got brought in. For
Yeah, so
PR.
I got brought in for PR to try to, fix the situation. However, the chief of staff actually immediately quit. So
Warning signs. Hey, you want to be chief of staff? I'm out.
it was literally in her letter of resignation. She literally said, "I just think Nakita would be better fit for this
Oh,
because
nice.
I have
Well,
more."
recommendation on the way out.
Look at you.
I mean, it was
You're
horrible.
like
So
walking right into it.
like right. So she comes. So the mayor come and she talked to me. She said, "Well, listen, since you would run the mayor's office and public relations is kind of included
thing,
in that. Why don't you take the job as chief of staff?" So I thought about it and I said, okay, well, great. I'll go ahead and take the job as chief of staff because it still allows me to do all of the things that I do under public relations. So I did that. And one of the things I learned immediately is the mayor doesn't listen. Right. And one thing about a publicist, our job is to storytell and make you look good in a positive light. But if you're not listening to the advice, basically all I'm doing is essentially just taking your money, right? So lying for you.
Right.
Like, she'll do stuff like gas giveaway, right? Which is a great, noble thing.
That was a big thing for a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, but however... But if you want me to embellish and tell the news that 1,500 cars pulled up, that's unreasonable. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can't.
Got to have credibility.
Exactly.
Got to have facts.
Exactly. Right. So I'm trying to explain to her, like, well, Tiffany, think about it. All of this can be FOIA'd, Right. Let's start here. Right. And then, if we can't verify this information, you're not just putting your name. These are my media contacts. These are my relationships. Sure. I'm not going to put my name on the line for you. Well, long story short, she thought that as her chief of staff, this is literally what she said to me. My job is to take the L's for her. Like, I'm supposed to go down. Mm-hmm. No, I saw Titanic. Sorry. Not going to do that. So,
So how long did you last?
I last about 6 months. I was like, you know what?
Is that longer than the first chief of staff?
Yeah, by 6 months.
Good job. By 6 months. Made it one day.
She lasts a week, so she hit the Guinness book. I'm like a close second.
So you were out after 6 months.
Yeah, I was out after 6 months. But, I witnessed a lot of, like, she berates people, disrespect. So imagine the way she talks to her trustees during a board meeting.
Yeah, we've seen it.
I got it even worse, right?
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
A couple times. I'm going to say that. I think that you probably picked up on my personality right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take too much of that shit. So I'm sorry.
No, you are. It's a podcast.
Yeah, but no, I'm not going to take that. So, things got interesting really quick. And I walked away.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't do it.
So, Stephanie, I want to get into, so kind of like as much as Dr. Nakita's over at the Village, your experience is at the Township, right? And
Correct.
so in Indiana,
she started as Mayor Tiffany started as mayor and then worked her way to the Township, correct?
well, she was appointed. We're going to get right. Why don't you explain? So wait, you're at the Township, 17 municipalities in Thornton Township, biggest township in Illinois, right? You were there for 20 years.
Yep.
And then and you were chief of staff there. Okay, and explain how Mayor Tiff becomes supervisor. And supervisor, by the way, for those that are listening in Indiana, is like the trustee of a township. And the trustees in Illinois are like the advisory board in
Gotcha.
Indiana.
So the supervisor is the boss.
Supervisor is the boss.
Trustees are the board members.
Correct.
Gotcha.
There you go. All right.
Yep. So in January of 2022, the previous supervisor passed away. That left us in a situation where the township board had 60 days to appoint, or it went out to an open vote. So the township would have run an internal election where people who wanted to be nominated brought in residents. Those residents made votes. Whoever had the most votes would have taken that seat.
It's like a regular election.
Correct.
Okay.
We just run it internally.
Okay.
So the trustees go through the 60 days. We're on the very last day. It is 11:54 p.m.
There's a meeting at 11:54 p.m.
It was 11:54 p.m.
7 minutes. We had 7 minutes.
Yeah. So
for the trustees to agree. Otherwise, it goes to an election.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
So I believe in order to prevent that open election from taking place and from it going out of the control that the board felt like they had, they threw a name out, and that name stuck.
Wow.
And it was Tiffany.
It was Tiffany.
Wow.
So you were the chief of staff working for the supervisor that passed away.
Correct.
And so now Tiffany comes in, and
she's going to clean house.
She just like right off the bat, was she just like, sorry, you're not going to make it?
So there was a moment where, being in a leadership role, you take on the responsibility of trying to make sure that your team is okay. We knew her in passing. She had the township supervisor was also the Democratic committeeman. So any election that was run in Thornton Township was, at some point, these candidates came through us. She was one of those back in 2012, I believe, right before she ran for trustee of Dolton. So we had interaction. We knew who she was. I was like, okay, you guys, this isn't going to be bad. She's still part of our team. Let's wait it out. Let's see what happens. That was a Thursday night she was appointed. Friday, I was off work. Just because I hadn't taken a break. My, boss had passed away.
Sure.
Just so happened to be my best friend. It was a tough time for all of us.
Who is the former supervisor? I'm sorry.
Frank Zuccarelli?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And
I met him a couple of times. He was a gentleman.
Yes. Yeah. So we.
I'm sorry about that.
Thank you very much. So I took the day off. I just kind of just needed to clear my mind. I go back to work Monday, and that was when I realized we were going to have issues. When I tell you that it felt like the most hostile takeover you could possibly imagine. I mean, the amount of security she brought in there, the police coming into people's offices, she brought in Andrew Holmes, who has nothing to do with Thornton Township. He is a village trustee. He's walking around with our salaries talking about, oh, well, yours is going to be gone and yours.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was
it-
there, so I can confirm.
That's
this.
so crazy.
Yeah.
How does she split time? Because she's the mayor also. So, how does she split her time
She
like
does
that?
not split time. Let me go on record and say that she's a supervisor, and she's a supervisor first that happens to be the mayor.
Right.
So what she do is because the township comes with a lot of resources, and so what she do is she do everything under the township, and then she sprinkle it over
Gotcha.
to the mayor's seat. For example, yesterday board meeting. All she talked about was everything that she do at the township,
right.
but a person who
Acts
doesn't
like it's mayor stuff.
understand
Right.
will think that it's mayor,
Right.
mayoral. So but to Stephanie's point, I was there that day. It was bad.
So, there's been so much news about the mayor, right? And it's like, it's viral, right? It's all over podcasts all over the country. There's national attention being paid to it, and definitely local, right? What was the first thing that she did that you guys said, oh, this is going to make the news, and it did? Like, what got the attention
Steph?
of the local news?
Stephanie wants to talk. I can tell. I'm a good body language reader.
It was definitely the walk to Springfield, the non-for-profit walk to Springfield, hands down.
Really?
When that took place, it was almost unbelievable because
And what was the purpose again? It was to raise
It was
To
Tiffany
raise money,
Cares
right?
Foundation or whatever,
Yeah, the
right?
for her for not for profit.
for
Reported.
her non-for-profit, right? So their goal was to bike ride to Springfield to get a bill passed. They were supposed to sit in front of the revenue committee and get a bill passed for people to get a $10,000 write-off on their taxes.
Credit on your tax.
Right.
Yeah, credit on your taxes if you were suffering from cancer.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, which sounds like a great
Yeah,
cause
sure.
until
does.
I see the $10,000 donation from Thornton Township. And then I see the credit card statements that have every hotel, every restaurant, every single place they stopped, the gas card was used, the vehicles
So
were
it wasn't
used,
paid for by the
employee-
foundation.
No, it was all paid for by Thornton Township.
Did they walk the whole
Springfield
way?
wasn't open.
And they were inside.
These are the most important
Wow.
parts. When they
Wait,
get there, like,
what?
oh, shit.
What?
Nobody called.
Hold on.
Springfield
had
wasn't
to-
open. The legislature wasn't even in session.
No, they had to come back.
We'll be back in January.
Time to walk back.
It was funny. I'm not going to call names, but it was legislators like, okay, so what she's doing? Let's see. Don't warn her. Let's see how this plays out.
They're like, I'm up here. I don't know where she's going.
That's what they did. They came
Wow.
back here and pitched it to the revenue committee in
In
Chicago.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a lot easier to walk to
Unbelievable.
Chicago from Dalton than it is to walk to Springfield.
And you would have saved me a ton of tax money.
Let me ask you: does she have so when those things are paid by the Thornton Township, meaning like the credit card bills, the hotels, the T-shirts and sweatshirts? How is that? What's the process? Does that go through the board? Does she have full control over those expenditures?
No, because those came out of general fund. So in the township, the way it works is we have, 3 separate funds. Road and Bridge, which is controlled by the highway commissioner. That is an elected position that is not voting a position. And then we have general fund, which is run by the supervisor and the board. She needs board approval to spend
So like
any
claims
money.
have to go through the
Yes.
board and they get approved. Okay.
And then general assistance is our GA fund. That's where she has complete control. She does not need board approval to spend
So
any
she
of that
could
money.
pull. She could theoretically, if she could pull it out of there to pay for a T-shirt, whether it's right or wrong. I'm not saying it's right,
She could.
but she could.
She could.
Where
That's
did these
crazy.
claims go through?
They went through general fund. The board did approve them, but they were all credit card
So
swipes
like
by
the money's put into general fund, and she could do whatever she wants after it's put there by the board, right?
in general assistance.
But the general fund is what paid it,
The general fund,
including
is
the
what
T-shirts
paid
and
it.
hoodies.
Absolutely, all $17,000 of them.
For a
So if
private
I'm her, I'm going to
organization.
say like, I just submitted them. What she's saying is she has nothing to do with the.
She's the face.
Yeah, she's the face of the charity, right? Yeah.
With
She
her
did
name,
say that.
her namesake charity.
She said it.
her namesake
She said
charity.
it. She's
Yeah,
the
that's-
face and name.
That's scary, man.
The one that she took the photo shoot for, matching outfits to the
I saw
website,
that.
pointing like,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, right.
the face.
Yeah, you know what's funny is before this all broke out, I would see her picture on the highway, and I'd be like, wow, that's
Oh.
you know.
You
But
saw
I would
her-
never see like the phone number or anything.
You're
I
like,
would just
man,
see
I
her
should get
picture.
one of those.
Well, look
Right.
at these that she's trying to hang around. So last night during the board meeting, she wanted the board to approve $19,000 to put, you know how you have the banners up on each light pole?
Oh yeah, and the light post. Wow. Did they approve it?
No.
So
look
every
at
every banner is her.
No way.
Tom, you got to get
That's-
those.
like,
we
I
got to
gotta
start
take
doing those.
lessons.
Why
I
are we
gotta
doing
take
that in
lessons. I've been there
Hammond?
20 years. This shit was teaching me things that I should be doing here. This is crazy. I feel like a bad mayor now.
So
I never even thought of that. Like these light poles, I could have pictures of me everywhere. Welcome to McDermottville.
yes. Welcome to Dolton. These are something.
So wait. Even in the light of all this coverage,
She's still going.
just last night, she's doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Oh, and WGN and ABC were both there filming
Oh
it.
wow.
We'll look forward to those.
That's a crazy thing. Is like, I mean, she is
doesn't
not
care.
afraid.
No.
Not only she's not afraid, she threw shots at him the entire board meeting. Yeah, and
She's not
cover this,
backing down.
Yeah,
cover there. They're like, okay.
thank you. Like you said, the gift that keeps on
Yeah, I'm
giving.
telling you,
We love you, Steph. We love you, Tim.
And then, I mean, I'm a publicist, so I'd be like, hey, you watching this, Ben? You know,
They just keep challenging.
You
her.
know, one of the things I have as mayor is I have a lawyer that is very in my ear. Kevin and I are real good friends, obviously, but not just that. Kevin's my lawyer. Like,
Yeah.
his job is to keep me out of trouble, right? And
Not
we
always
talk.
Which is a
but-
difficult
job.
job.
Not
It
always
is a
easy.
difficult job. I agree. But like Kevin is constantly talking to me. Hey, you should think about this when you say this. You know, doesn't she have a good lawyer like that that's watching out for Tiffany? I mean,
Or
just
does she just
'cause
not take direction?
Somebody that cares about her. That's
okay.
like, hey, I don't want to see you in federal prison.
So let me
Mayor.
say this. So from my experience as the chief of staff, so she had Ansel and Gleek, which was which is technically the law firm for the village of Dolton, but they resigned. In the letter, they stated she just doesn't listen. We can't listen.
They,
you know.
they resigned as a firm.
Yeah, they resigned as the firm. So Delgado, who was like the special counsel, he's been kind of, like her BFF or whatever. But before Delgado, in his firm, he had James Vaselli, which, I worked a lot with James Vaselli. I did not know Delgado like that. James Vaselli we'll be in a room and, something will come up and I'll look at him, he'll look at me, and he'd be like, make sure she get this done, right? And I'm like, okay.
So they're trying.
He tried. I will say that. James Vaselli tried to get her to do the right thing.
Well, it's always important, I think, as an attorney, to do your best. At the end of the day, and I've said this to Tom. I said, hey, I'm just giving you advice. It's you make the decision, and Tom's got a good gut, so a lot of times he makes the right decision. But you kind of have to rely on your clients to do the right thing and make the right decision. All you can do is advise and give them advice. So I want to ask real quick.
I think Stephanie.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I
Sorry.
was just going to say that
You got a better.
that's where I believe
over here.
Delgado is with it. He, first of all, there was a reason he wasn't out here the way he was with the prior administration.
Right.
There definitely are some things that, personally, if I were hiring a lawyer, would be qualities that I would not want in my attorney.
Right.
But I do think that what you said is on point, that the firm gives the advice that legally they should give.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, on the flip side of that, when she needs defense because she does what she wants, he's there to collect the checks.
Oh, yeah.
True story, by the way.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like one of the things I learned, there's cases called 1983 cases, and I don't want to get too deep into the woods, okay? But they're civil rights violation cases, and they're nasty lawsuits, okay? Like when you do things that violates people's Bill of Rights, like you impede their freedom of speech, you fire them for political reasons. They filed one of these lawsuits filed against the village of Dolton is a nasty lawsuit, but
Right.
it seems to me like she's exposed the village of Dolton to multiple of these types of lawsuits, and
Unnecessary lawsuits.
absolutely,
Yeah.
they're
Like
so nasty.
FOIA
One of them
requests.
is nasty, and if you have dozens, like Like
Yeah.
Dolton could be fighting these cases for the next 10 years.
I agree.
Yeah, like you said, they've stopped. I heard that they, at least on the news, said that they've stopped responding to FOIA requests.
I can tell you with authority, we were instructed to not fill FOIA requests.
That's crazy. That's
And,
basic
and it was-
democracy.
And
Yep.
they would tell us to not fill FOIA requests over stupid stuff like payroll information. And it's funny, like how Stephanie and I became friends. She was on one side, I was on the other side. She submitted a FOIA request for my information and their information too.
Wow.
And I caught a typo. So I hit her up like, hey, fix that and submit it. You know, because I
love
have
that.
nothing.
The behind the scenes story
Yeah.
of
Isn't that
FOIA
cool?
requests,
So you guys
yeah.
became friends?
Yeah,
because of
that
that?
we became friends.
Yep.
It was like, hey, fix that.
It's a
and
powerful
resubmit.
friendship because you guys, I mean, Tiffany
Information.
she is the topic du jour across Chicago right now, and you guys have,
Yeah.
When is
inside
the
information.
when's the election?
2025.
So a year from now, and in Illinois it's February, right?
Yeah.
So she
And-
has to run for both offices.
Yeah.
So she's going to run for trustee then, right?
Sure,
that's
for
the one she's-
supervisor.
Supervisor
excuse me.
and mayor. She
and
said
mayor.
she's running for both.
She did say that.
Because it seems, well, they throw it up against the wall. Hopefully, both stick, right? But like, it seems to me if I was going to focus on one, I would focus on the one paying me $225,000 a year, which is
That's what
supervisor,
I
right?
said. But you know what it is? Honestly, when she became supervisor, right? First of all, she did not know what a supervisor did. Like, just
She
being
still
honest.
doesn't. She still says
Yeah.
she's over the mayors. You're not over anything, ma'am. You service those
Right.
17
Yeah.
communities.
Exactly.
You have no say in what happens in those municipalities.
Yeah, Township doesn't tell
Right,
the North
absolutely.
Township trustee
Right.
in
I
here
have a
doesn't
great
tell,
relationship with my trustee.
but doesn't tell you what to do in Hammond.
It's complimentary.
Exactly.
I do things, he does things. They complement each other.
For
it's
sure.
not like adversarial at all.
Yeah. So she didn't really know what a supervisor does. So, she hit us with, okay, well, I'm over all of this and I do this and I do that. But the problem is this. I told her, I said, Tiffany, this seems like a good opportunity because, I know that the township does like a lot of events and, things that I know she'd like to do. I'm like, why don't you resign from mayor and just keep, focus on being a good supervisor because it looked like it's a lot of work. 17, municipalities is a heavy workload.
Hell yeah.
She said no because she did not want the trustees to think that she was a quitter.
Right.
As mayor, you mean.
ego.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
It's like, are you serious? So here we are.
but she
so
wants
she's
to
gotta
do the
run for
right
both.
thing for the people.
Right.
Right.
For loving on the people.
Yes.
So they're attacking me for loving on the people. I'm like,
Yeah,
that
there's
is
nothing
so
they can
funny.
do about it,
Loving
right?
on the people. All right, Mayor.
I mean,
That
if you-
sounds good to me.
If you were kind of handicapping the races next year, does she have a chance to win? Does she have a better chance to win supervisor or mayor?
Or both.
Or to get real?
Good
Or yeah, or
question.
both,
Both.
or neither.
Neither, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And that's, well, here's the thing. I'll say this. The good, I want to keep the good with the bad. Tiffany is not a lazy individual.
No,
No,
Let me
you
go on
can tell
record
that.
and say,
She
does not.
accomplishes a lot.
Yeah, she doesn't sleep. She blinks slow. Now, but she's not the most ethical, and it's starting to show where, the reality of like this in Dolton, right? She put a ice skate rink.
Yeah.
And, it looks pretty. But no one is ever at the ice skate rink. So pretty soon the residents start to see, like, I really didn't need this ice skate rink.
Right.
I would rather have my water main breaks fixed.
Fixed, or my
stuff
garbage
like
picked
that.
up and make sure
Exactly.
things that- yeah.
But then also more and more people are starting to come to the board meetings and they're starting to see what's going on. So I don't think, at first I used to think like, the people are buying this BS and they're going to probably, roll with it. The township, no. It was a no-go because, for one, she was coming behind big shoes. Someone who had this seat for 35 years. People loved that man. They worshiped that man. He did what he needed to do for the people at the end of the day.
True story.
She, on the other hand, is coming in with controversy, all of this other stuff, and she's doing business owners wrong, and they don't really see the progress that she's saying. She's not going to be able to win, and then she's going to have to fight. Think about it. It's going to probably have 16 people running for supervisor.
That could be. I mean, in a way, maybe some of that's to
They
her
could
advantage.
work to her advantage, but she's that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be better if it was
all
just.
over
And the interesting thing is, like, there's 17 communities. So unlike the village, where you're dealing with everybody in your community, at the township, she's got trustees there that could care less about what's going on in Dolton. I mean, I don't mean care less, but they don't have to worry about any political ramifications of Dolton. They run South Holland, or they're from, I don't know, they're from wherever, Thornton, right?
Well, one of them is her assistant in Dolton.
As a trustee?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What do you think, Steph? What do you think her chances are next year?
Well, I think that a big part of keeping that township seat is building relationships. It's building relationships with the mayors of those 17 municipalities. It's building relationships with the residents. It's really a hands-on seat. You have to touch the people. I would say 15 out of the 17 mayors aren't supporting her. So you just taking that into account, their constituents are gonna vote the way that mayor feels towards somebody. So just those numbers alone would never allow her to win the township.
And she seems to be using the township to focus on Dalton a lot.
Yeah.
100%.
So in other words, I'm like one of those other communities. Like, hey, what
They're
about
not
me?
getting anything.
What about us?
Right.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Every township event, the township pays for everything, with the exception, of course, the public work. Every event in Dolton. So the public works department has to be out there. The police department, which the abuse that police department is being put through, ethically to do things that they know they're not supposed to do.
I saw the former police chief is suing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're arresting residents. They're wrongfully removing us from meetings.
Yeah.
They're preventing us from speaking.
We covered on the last show, the Fox 32 covered 2 businesses that said that they didn't donate to Tiffany, and then the day after they appeared on the show, Dolton
They got
police were
raided.
shutting them down.
Shut down.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
FBI attention stuff.
Honestly, we're going through
FBI
the
is not
same
gonna tolerate
thing
that shit.
at the Dolton Park District.
Yeah.
For about a year, I've been the executive director over
I
at the
saw that.
Dalton
I'm
Park
gonna-
District.
Was that you?
We
on
saw
that?
you on
That
TV.
is that's
We
her.
saw-
That
you
is
were, we
me.
covered you on Lockpod.
Wow.
Yeah, you're
Here you are,
famous.
right
You were
here
in
in
the
the studio.
You were in the parking lot then.
Yes.
And they interviewed you.
Yep.
We covered you on Lockpod.
Yep, that's me.
Look at this is your second time on the show, Steph.
Well, thank you for having me.
I remember
again.
when I saw you, I was thinking to myself, because in when you're mayor in Indiana, Parks works for the mayor.
Yep.
And I remember seeing you, Dalton Park District, and I was like, how is she going to get away with saying that about the mayor? That was my instinct, but it's totally separated.
It is. We have a separate board, a separate tax bracket. So
You could be, antagonistic to the mayor and still work in Dalton, basically, because you're
Absolutely.
working.
Lose your job.
Right, because
Right.
like my park department head works for me. There's no way that would Jim would say that about me because he works for me. He's part of my administration. That would be a problem.
yeah,
It's
and
like,
you're
wait
friends.
a second, we're
They
supposed to
get
be on the
along.
same
They get
page, right?
and you also wouldn't prevent the community from having things that they wanted.
Heck
We've
no.
done, we have a resident that comes in and rents one of our large parks for a car show that he does every year. Last year was, I believe, the 9th one he had done. And Tiffany's administration had reached out to him. She was having her house head event on the same day that this car show was. It was on the other side of town. Her administration had, and by administration I mean Keith Freeman and her boyfriend, had reached out to him several times trying to get him to move his event over to her house head event. They even offered him like $3,500 to
Get
move
out.
it. And when he finally said, "Stop calling me, I'm not doing this," they put boulders in the entrances to our parks, and then she sent the cops
Whoa.
over to block everything off so we couldn't get in to have the event.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is
That's
incredible.
hard.
That's
It's
so
it's
mean.
amazing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And
She's
then,
like a dictator.
and
Yeah.
then
Oh,
I
no,
have,
she's literally a dictator.
Yeah.
literally is. And then I have, we have 11 parks. I have projects, getting ready to start at 5 of them. 2 of them have, they're projects where we need contractors to come in. And as you know, anytime a contractor comes into the village, we need a permit from the village. Even
Oh,
if it's
no.
on our property, if it's
Oh,
on,
no.
well,
That's a problem.
and that's where we're stuck right now. So now these residents that you say you love so much, who are paying taxes, who are
Loving on the people.
She's loving on them.
loving on them by preventing them
you
from
do it
getting
hard too. I can't
can
do
do that.
that
Look at
really well. My
Wait,
hearts
where's
are-
Tiffany taught me how to do this.
Hearts are
I
terrible.
love it. See, I got good. It's a
You guys are
mayor
much
thing,
better
right?
at that.
it's a mere thing.
It is a mayor.
So
thing.
we
$1 million giveaway.
It's
Right.
the first thing I learned at the Conference of Mayors. They're like, okay, give your hands out. Like, do a heart. It's the first
Do
thing.
that a lot. It helps. It helps in tough times.
I'll be at Mayor's Night Out getting yelled at, and I'll go like this.
Yes.
And everything just
like
calms
there's nothing you
down.
can do about it.
Everything calms down. It's like a peace symbol.
Tom, you got to do it.
I will.
Mayor's Night Out,
I
you gotta
gotta
do
bust
it.
that out.
At the worst moment, just do that.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, we appreciate you very much for coming in.
thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
I hope we don't get you in trouble. We're not trying to.
Oh,
We're
I'm
this
fine.
is just
Yeah,
super
she's not at
interesting to
all.
me. And you guys are obviously. I would love for you to work for my administration. You both seem like awesome employees, awesome leaders. So I appreciate you very much for coming on Lockpod.
My absolute
Thank you
pleasure.
for having us.
No,
And
thank you.
maybe,
And it's-
maybe as
Yeah.
things develop, we can have them back again.
would you guys
Yeah.
want to come
Sure.
on?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
love to come back and give a play by
Yeah,
play.
we
There's
could-
breaking news.
Yeah, I
I
know,
have a
right?
feeling-
Yep.
Like, guys,
Well,
check this out. you
Please,
know?
please stay in touch.
She was dressed as
Appreciate
Snoop
it.
last.
Keep
you
good
know?
notes.
Right?
Keep
And
good
by the way,
notes.
I got my music fest every summer. Please come over and visit.
For
We
sure.
definitely
Not
we'll
far.
be there.
Not
Okay,
far.
let's
Right.
do it.
Thank you for appearing on our pod, you two. Again, that's Dr. Nakita Cloud and Miss Stephanie Wiedeman. Stephanie's the Park District
Executive director.
Executive Director of,
Yes.
of
ED.
Dolton Park District.
Dalton Park District.
And Dr. Nakita is your
We
business.
talked about BAM already, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that
So
off.
So
Yeah, I
BAM
wanna- I
is
wanna get more
located in
information on
Markham
this.
inside of Canterbury
Really?
Mall. Yep, right off
All right.
159 in Kedzie. And then we do have a second location
Right
that
by
is
the
set to open
courthouse.
soon. Yep.
Really?
And then we do have a second location that is set to, we're still going through the red tape, but it's all built. And it's in Linwood off of Glenwood
Yeah.
and Torrance.
I know exactly.
All
what
right.
you're saying.
Wow.
So let me ask you a question.
BAM.
interested in
I'm just
this.
going to keep saying BAM.
Bam!
How much business have you lost to Michigan? I mean, honestly, because Michigan seems like they're undercutting Illinois big time with the
taxes.
Well,
So for people like myself that could go either way, it's like I could literally save lots of money by going towards Michigan instead of Illinois.
Well, we match Michigan in our prices, and also our headquarters is based out of Michigan.
Oh,
so
there
we
you
didn't lose
go.
a dollar.
Look at you, doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming. I'll check you out. Yeah, we got Grateful Dead concerts
she's a
coming up.
doctor.
I got to get ready for my dead show.
Let's go.
so-
I got you.
That's
Trust
right.
me.
Thank you guys so much for
Thanks
coming
for
on
coming.
my
No
pod.
problem.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
for having us.
It's a pleasure. Again, Kevin, thanks for working
Yep.
so hard on this. Kevin did the pre-show on this, and it turned out great. So thank you, Kevin.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Steve, for
Thanks,
getting them on.
Kevin.
You're
And
welcome.
My beautiful daughter, Lindsay, thanks for coming in
Got it.
here.
Thanks, Lindsay.
And-
Of course.
and
Thanks
Jay
for coming
Vet.
in, ladies. It's so nice to have ladies in here.
It is.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Stuck
a
with
rare
us
occasion.
usually.
Some
This
dudes.
is a heavy male influence show. So
Really?
we're half and half today. We appreciate it very much.
It feels much nicer in here.
It does feel
It
nicer.
smells better too.
By the way, Lindsay, it
imagine.
is definitely a nicer vibe in here. I have to say. So.
Everyone's having fun. We're all
Yeah.
smiling.
Yeah.
It's
Jay Vest, thanks for the hard work.
You're welcome.
And
Thank
again,
you.
another high quality product. That's a wrap on season 11, episode 17. Can you believe that? Season 11. Yeah,
I
we've been
love
around.
it.
It's
Yeah.
really only been 2 years, but
Yeah.
who's counting?
It's season 11
It's been
though.
6 months.
Yeah, we've been doing this a while.
It's
so.
season 11 in Dalton as well.
That's
Yeah.
right. Thanks for listening to Lockpod, everybody. We love you. And now you know why that we are the Midwest's most dangerous podcast. Again, we'll be back on what day is
Friday.
today? Friday. We'll be back on Friday with another high quality episode.